Good morning to all. Today we are going to discuss Unit 3. The Unit 3 name is Data Input and Topology. Today we are going to discuss the topic Raster data files format and georeferencing. So the topic correlated with the course outcome of the outcome of this course. The topic is make use of GIS software for developing raster and vector data model. So the topic correlated with the program outcome of PO1, PO3, PO5, PO6, PO7 and then PO9 and program specific outcome 1. So the outcome of this topic is make use of GIS software for developing raster and vector data model. So in the raster and vector data model based, how we are going to processing the data. So now we will deal about the data processing. So the pre-processing done before analysis can occur to increase quality of the data. So the type include reprojection, georeferencing, resampling, reclassification, rasterization. So the reprojection is nothing but changing projection, coordinate system and datums. Then georeferencing is nothing but placing image in proper geographic location. And resampling changes raster layers from one projection to another, also can be used to change resolution. Reclassification generalize values in a raster to highlight broader classes. Example, simplifying land use feature from 3 classes into 2. Rasterization convert vector features into raster data. So the raster data file format grid. First one's grid. So the grids are an ESRI file format used to store both discrete features such as buildings, roads and parcels and continuous phenomena such as elevation, temperature and precipitation. Recall that the basic unit of the raster data model is the cell. Cell stores information about what things are like at a particular location on the earth's surface. Depending on the type of data being stored, cell values can be either integer whose numbers are floating point numbers with decimals. There are two types of grids. One stores integers and the other stores floating point. A discrete grid contains cells whose values are integers, often code numbers for a particular category. Cells can have the same value in a discrete grid. For example, in a discrete grid of land use, each land use type is coded by a different integer, but many cells may have the same code. Discrete grid have an attribute table that stores the cell values and their associated attributes. A continuous grid is used to represent continuous phenomena. Its cell values are floating point. Each cell in a continuous grid can have a different floating point values. For example, in a continuous grid representing elevation, one cell might store an elevation values of 564.3 meters, which while the cell to the left might store an elevation value of 565.1 meters. Unlike discrete grids, continuous grids don't have an attribute table. Image. The term image is a collection term for raster whose cells are pixel stores brightness value of refracted visible light or other type of electromagnetic radiation such as emitted heat, infrared or ultraviolet. Then aerial photos, satellite images and scanned paper map are examples of images commonly used in a GIS. Images can be displayed as layers in a map or they can be used as attributes for vector features. For example, the real estate company might include photos of available houses as an attribute of a home's layer. To be displayed as a layer, however, images must be referenced to real world locations. For example, an aerial photos as it comes from the camera is just a static picture. Like a picture of a house, there is no information about what part of the world the photo has captured, and the photo may contain distortion and scale variations caused by the angle of the camera. To display properly with other map layers, the aerial photo must be assigned a coordinate system and some of its pixels must be linked to known geographic coordinates. Data format. So now we can make conclusion according to data type as mentioned through the presentation. We all know that and image is a set of pixels with column and row defined by RGB, red, green, and then blue. So it is an primary colors as shown as a right hand side in figure 1.0. So here could be satellite image which the vector data is presented either by point, line, or polygon. So grid based and then vector based, point, line, polygon based. So the source of data, as well as all, we know that gathering data is important. The data should be meaningful, accurate, to the point. So when collecting real-time GIS data or to store data should be from trusted resources. Where to get data? From internet or geoserver or remote sensing data, scanned photo, digital orthophoto, collected for ArcGIS, point data samples from surveys. The advantages and disadvantages of raster data. Advantages are simple data structure, easy overlay, various kind of spatial analysis, uniform size and shape, cheaper technology. Whereas in disadvantages, large amount of data, less pretty, projection transformation is difficult, different scales between layers can be a nightmare, may lose information due to generalization. Then georeferencing. To georeference is the act of assigning accurate location to spatial information. In essential, in GIS, since all information must be linked to the Earth's surface, the method of georeferencing must be unique, linking information to exactly one location. Shared, so different users understand the meaning of a georeference. Persisting through time, so today's georeference are still meaningful tomorrow. The uniqueness, a georeference may be unique only within a defined domain, not globally. There are many instances of Springfield in the US, but only one in any state. The meaning of a reference to London may depend on context since there are smaller London in several parts of the world. Georeference as measurement. Some georeferences are metric. They define location using measures of distance from fixed place. Example, distance from the equator or from the Greenwich meridian. Others are based on ordering. Example, street address in most part of the world order houses along the streets. So others are only nominal. Placements do not involve ordering or measuring. That means the name of the location. So the place names do not involve ordering or measuring. Metric references essential to the making of maps and the display of mapped images in GIS. Provide the potential for infinitely fine spatial resolution provided we have sufficiently accurate measuring device. From measurements of 2 or 3 locations, it is possible to compute distance. Georeferencing system, place name, postal addresses and postal code, linear reference system, cadastral, latitude and longitude, projections and coordinate system, the global positioning system. The assessment of the session, list the raster data file format. These are the reference material. Thank you.